This is because by merely entering Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, a person is consumed by it, and thus he becomes part of it and its holiness. Therefore, even one who walks 4 cubits in the land of Israel can be certain of entering the world to come. It says in the Talmud. But if a person has no desire at all to serve God and to eliminate the evil in himself, his dwelling in the land of Israel will have no benefit to him whatsoever. For the land will vomit him out the way the land vomited out the nation that came before you, as it says in Leviticus. Vayikra. There's a lot to say on this. I need to have a seat. So, a person who travels to Eretz Yisrael for the right reasons to come close to God, he's going to see tremendous benefits spiritually. So if you can come here, you need to come here, basically. What it's going to do for your soul is amazing. Every 4 steps you take and you walk in Eretz Yisrael is a mitzvah, and the land starts to eat you, to consume you. You become part of its holiness. There's many stories of a lot of us. We came to Israel first year so sick. You see, many yeshiva bachrim first month, 2 months are here. While they're adjusting to living in Israel, there's a purification process. The land has to purify you, so to speak. You have people saying, you know what, every Jew, I don't care who you are, come to Israel. You have to be in Israel. It's going to bring Mashiach. You see people saying this. And there are some Meforshim that say they have some sources to this. There are some people that say this. It's not. But we have a Gemara here, right? It's saying, well, we have a Gemara, right? No, actually, we have a Gemara on this, but also we have a from the Tanakh, the Bible, saying, the way of the land vomited out the nation that came before you. So, Menachem is saying from here that you're not going to have any benefit to come here and sin. Don't come to Eretz Yisrael. Don't come to the land of Israel because it's a supposedly, I'm saying supposedly, I'm not going to get into that discussion, a Jewish state. Don't come because this is the land of Israel for the Jews. Come here because you want to be close to God. Come here because there's no place in the world that can give you the spirituality and the closest to God as being here. There's no greater place than where I am right now. Behind this wall was a temple. This is the outer wall. This is everything. This is everything. This is complete purity. Throw away all the materialism. Drop it all. Get on the next plane. Come here. If you can handle it. So, but I do believe and you can see it, that there's an exodus from the 4 corners of the world. More and more people are coming to Israel to be here, to live here. And you see it, that it's important for the coming of Mashiach, that Jews establish themselves here. But I'm also a realist. You know what I mean? I'm not a rabbi who's blind. Not everyone can be here. Not everyone can manage the language. Not everyone can manage the apartments. They're smaller. But you know what? I'll tell you something else. You're not going to see me talk against Eretz Yisrael. I'm not going to talk negative because that's what the spies did, right? And they didn't make it back to Eretz Yisrael because they were talking negative. So you're not going to see me. That's why I believe I'm still here. So many of my friends, people I know, came, made Aliyah, and they were sent back. The country vomited them out. And you know why? Because they spoke against Eretz Yisrael. You can speak against the government. The government does that themselves. You don't have to be wise to realize how crazy the government is today. In the old days, I would say one thing against the government, people would shut me up. How dare you speak against the government? Now it's so obvious how corrupt they are, how evil they are, how against Judaism they are. I don't know what the... A person doesn't come here for materialism. They come here to get rid of the materialism, to be close to God. And it's the greatest thing if you could prepare your soul for this adventure in your life. But when people come out and say, everyone drop everything, this rabbi comes and he says, New York is going to be underwater. It's his prophecy. I'm not going to sit here and prophesy and scare you to come to Eretz Yisrael, that you should come here out of fear. And you're not going to come and stay. Come here in the right time. Prepare yourselves as a plan of action to get to that point that you should come and be able to stay. I'm not going to mislead people on some campaign to drop what's right. Every soul has to be in a certain place for certain reasons. Maybe your shidduch is in America. Maybe you need to save souls. Maybe you need to do kiruv in America or in Europe. So every person is different. So people who are closed-minded don't see that every person is different and need their own way. Those are not the rabbis you need in your life. A person has to understand the big picture. Every person is different. Every person has something else for their soul. But if you can come to Eretz Yisrael, and the best place is in Jerusalem, far none, nothing can compare. I lived almost 10 years in Sfas, and everyone in Sfas swears by the fact that Sfas is the holiest place in the world. You can't beat it. Even Jerusalem can't beat it. But you see me here at the Western Wall, and I can't do that from Sfas. I can go to Meron, and it's holy. I used to go to Meron every day, just like you see me going to the Kos every day. And it's holy. It's wonderful. I wish I could go right this second. But Jerusalem, it says in the prophecies, that the Torah will come forth from Jerusalem and spread to the entire world. Didn't say that about Netanya, didn't say that about Tel Aviv, didn't say that about Tzfas. So if you can come to Eretz Yisrael with your family and it's the right time for you to do so, there's no other place like it, and nothing compares to it. But ask your rabbi, make sure it's the right time, because many people come and they fail. But if you come with the right preparation, it's amazing the spirituality and the mitzvahs. You can do more mitzvahs here that you can't. There are mitzvahs with the fruits, with the farming, many things that you cannot fulfill outside of the land. And that's God's message. Come and dwell in holiness. And yes, coming here hastens the coming of the Mashiach, but doesn't mean everyone is able to. It doesn't mean a person should feel bad. But to visit here is a must. If you can get on a plane and come to Eretz Yisrael, it's going to change your life. You should come every year. And I know it's hard. Take that vacation. Come to Eretz Yisrael. Feel the Kedusha. It's going to change you forever. There's so many people who are religious their entire life and never made it here. It's life-changing. Rabbi Nachman we're speaking about his Torahs. Rabbi Nachman wrote a lot of the Kutei Moharan before he came to Eretz Yisrael. When he came to Israel, he told the Hasidim, Rav Natan, he said, take it and throw it away. I don't want to. The Torah is so much more pure now that he went back to Ukraine. But he said, my Torah is so much more pure now that I write and I speak. I have so much more understanding. The second I came to Eretz Yisrael, I immediately was given an understanding. It says that Ruach HaKodesh, divine inspiration, comes, its sources in Eretz Yisrael. So yes, you had the Baal Shem Tov who had Ruach HaKodesh. Yes, you had him, and he never made it to Eretz Yisrael, but he was connected so firmly to Eretz Yisrael. But the source of that Ruach HaKodesh is here. It's here. So you need to come here. You need to spend time here. If you have children, you need to send them to yeshiva here, to seminaries here. This is the place to send them. They need that inspiration. This is it. This is the place. So I hope I gave you the balanced understanding of that. I don't know how people do it today outside Israel when there's so much tumah, surrounded by so much Goyish influences. There's so much materialism. I don't know how you do it. I don't know why you do it. So I could be the person who tells everyone just come here, but Rabbi Nachman reminds us right here that the land will do nothing for you. Nothing for you if you come here for the wrong reason, just because I'm going to come here because I wear a kippah. It's not going to do anything for you. You have to come here wanting to come close to God. You can even come here with your bags of sins, but only if you're coming here to get rid of them. Don't come here to go to the Tel Aviv, to the clubs. They're supposed to be the best clubs in the world. I wouldn't know because I've never been to them. Don't come here to go clubbing. Don't do that. That's what it's saying here. Don't. That's not the way. The land will throw you out. Face first. It's not the way. But, I went to the Aliyah office, and this was 18 years ago. Went to the Aliyah office. We said we want to come to Israel, and went there to a group meeting. And my wife and I, and this is New Jersey, which is a very Jewish religious area. My wife and I were the only people there that were religious. Most of the people that were making Aliyah coming to Israel didn't have a kippah on. So you think that they came here and they made Aliyah and they're adding to the holiness of the land, that they're bringing Mashiach. The people are telling you, some online rabbis, come here, everyone should just come. You think these people are bringing Mashiach? They're coming here and they're in Tel Aviv walking their dogs on the beach and not modest. This is the Gula. This is what Hashem wants. It was we were shocked. We couldn't believe it. All the people coming to Israel, it's not the religious people. Why aren't they coming? Hashem is tearing apart the cities in America. They're being burnt up by protesters. It's not safe anymore. But I'm not saying everyone should come because of that. But many should. Why aren't they coming? You don't want this? It's right here. I drove here. You probably won't have a motorcycle to come here in 10 minutes like me. So it'll take you an hour. It used to take me an hour on the bus. You'll come here. What? You need to stay in America to see the harbor, to see the skyscrapers. For what? What do you want in your life? What do you want for your children? There's a purpose. Some people can't leave. They have family. They have elderly. Stay. I have no problem with that. But if you can come, why wouldn't you want to be here? Look where I am. Do you understand where I am? If you understood where I am and how easy it is, even with the lockdowns and the virus, and they're making us crazy. I'm down here, so they don't see don't have a mask on. But still, you can come here and you're not coming here. So many Yeshiva Bachram didn't come to Israel this year because of the virus. They're scared. I don't know. They figure, I'll just stay in America. They lost a whole year in Eretz Yisrael. They could have been to the Mir Yeshiva. They could have got so much Torah. They could have come to the Western Wall at least once a week. For what? They're in yeshivas in America. They have their smartphone hidden under the bed, wherever. In Israel, they wouldn't even wanted it. All the materialism is finished. It changes your life here. Changes everything. Why aren't you here? You know what? Even if you're not ready yet, but you're thinking about it a little bit, make a call tomorrow to the Aliyah department and say, you know what, I want to register someone who's going to move to Israel. Even if you're not ready yet, just work on it, prepare for it. Because what do you have to lose? Where you are, you're losing everything. So that's your balanced approach to that.